Quilla, can you at least fight back?
No. Why she not fighting?
At least something. At least fight back, something.
Get up, bro. Get up.
Somebody recorded that. Somebody stood there with their phone out and captured a woman getting attacked while she wasn't even defending herself. And when things went left, all 6 of them left the room. Then they picked up the phone and called her mother with a whole lie ready. This is the story of Shanquella Robinson, and I'm telling you right now, everything about this is going to make you sick. October 2022. Shanquella Robinson was 25 years old, living in Charlotte, North Carolina, doing her thing. She wasn't just out here existing, she was building. 2 businesses under her name: Exquisite Babies, where she specialized in children's hair braiding; Exquisite Boutique, bringing her fashion vision to life with women's clothing. Her social media showed somebody chasing dreams, putting in work, living life. Now, Shanquella knew Dejanay Jackson, went by Dana, from their college days at Winston-Salem State University. They weren't best friends or nothing like that, but they ran in the same circles. You know how it goes. There was Winter Donovan, Malik Dyer, Alethea Hyatt, Khalil Cook, and Nazir Wiggins. They all knew each other. But here's the thing about Khalil. Out of everybody in that group, Shanquella trusted him the most. He'd been to family events, went on trips with her relatives. Her mother, Salamandra, considered him reliable. Like, this was somebody who sat at their table, ate their food, became part of their world. Remember that. We're gonna come back to it. So Dana starts putting together plans for a Mexico getaway. She's handling the logistics, picking the destination, coordinating schedules. The group was heading to Cabo San Lucas, via Linda 32 to be specific. This wasn't some regular Airbnb, y'all. We're talking 6,000 square feet of hacienda-style luxury. 5 bedrooms, each with its own bathroom. Sprawling indoor-outdoor living areas. The whole setup screamed money. But here's where it gets interesting. Shanquella wasn't part of the original guest list. Let me say that again for the people in the back. She was not invited. Dana had planned this trip for her inner circle. It was supposed to be a birthday celebration for herself and Nazir. But when some people backed out, spots opened up. That's when Khalil reached out to Shanquella with what looked like a friendly invitation. Girl, the reality? Shanquella was filling in for people who couldn't make it. She wasn't chosen because she mattered to the group. She was convenient when others fell through. Make it make sense. And here's the part that's really gonna get you. Despite being the last person added to this trip, Shanquella reportedly covered most of the expenses. The birthday celebration that was supposed to honor Dana and Nazir, made possible with Shanquella's money. So let's be clear about what we're dealing with here. Shanquella was both necessary and disposable. Necessary because her financial contribution kept the trip alive. Disposable because she'd never been part of the original vision. She funded a vacation she wasn't even supposed to be on. Period. The dates were set, October 28th through October 31st, 2022. That morning, everybody boarded their flights to Mexico. When they arrived at Villa Linda 32, you could see Shanquella's excitement. She was on Instagram stories showcasing everything: the pool, the ocean views, the luxurious rooms. In those clips, she looked genuinely happy. She was living in the moment. That evening, she called her mother, Salamandra. They talked about dinner plans. There was a private chef preparing tacos. Shanquella told her mom how much fun she was having. She was good. Everything seemed good. Salamandra told her daughter she'd call again the next day. I said, "Okay, love you. I will talk to you tomorrow. Enjoy yourself." And I never spoke with my child again. Those were the last words they exchanged. Less than 24 hours into the trip, everything changed. The next morning, Shanquella found herself in a vulnerable position when Dana started hitting her. And I need y'all to understand something about what happened in that room. This wasn't a fight. Two people fighting means both people are engaged, both throwing hands, both defending themselves. That's not what happened here.
Quilla, can you at least fight back?
No. What's your name?
At least something. At least fight back, something.
Get up, bro. Get up.
Shanquella wasn't defending herself. She wasn't throwing punches back. She was getting attacked, and somebody, one of these so-called friends, was recording it while begging her to fight back. But here's what makes this even more disgusting. There were other people in that room. Some were recording on their phones. Others were just standing there, watching. Not one person stepped in. Not one person said, "Yo, chill." Not one person protected someone who couldn't protect herself. This was somebody who trusted these people enough to travel internationally with them. Somebody who paid for them to be there. And when she needed help, they watched. After that confrontation, Shanquella had sustained serious injuries. We're talking documented medical trauma. Yet instead of immediately getting her to a hospital, instead of calling for emergency help right away, hours passed. Hours. At 2:13 p.m., that's more than several hours after the assault, someone finally contacted the villa staff requesting medical assistance. And you know what story they gave? She had too much to drink. She just needs hydration. The lies were already starting. Around that same time, while Shanquella is hurt, while she needs real medical attention, Khalil makes a call to Salamandra back in North Carolina. His tone? Calm, casual, like everything's under control. He tells Salamandra that Shanquella isn't feeling great, mentions she'd been drinking, assures her that they're handling the situation. Everything's fine. She just needs to sleep it off. Now think about this for a second. Salamandra had every reason to trust Khalil. This man had eaten at her table, traveled with her family, been welcomed into their home like he was one of them. So when he called and said her daughter just needed rest, why would she question it? She didn't know that while he was on the phone sounding all calm and collected, her daughter was in critical condition. And Khalil knew it. At 3:15 p.m., Dr. Carolina Gutierrez from the American Medical Center arrived at the villa. What she walked into? It completely contradicted everything they'd told her on the phone. This wasn't somebody who had too much to drink and needed some fluids. This wasn't simple dehydration. Shanquella was displaying signs of severe trauma. The doctor looked at Shanquella, looked at these so-called friends, and immediately told them they needed to get this woman to a hospital. Not later, not maybe, right now. You know what they said? No. Dr. Gutierrez wasn't hearing that. She urged them again, hospital, immediately. She stressed that Shanquella needed proper medical evaluation and treatment. They refused again. The doctor tried a different approach. She mentioned public hospitals that wouldn't charge any fees. Free. No money needed. Still no. She even suggested contacting Shanquella's family to verify insurance coverage, just to address whatever financial concerns they claimed to have. But oh, they had their excuses ready. They said they were worried about hospital bills. They insisted Shanquella had been like this before, and she typically improved with just fluids. All she needs is an IV, they told the doctor. We got this. Let me tell you something. When a medical professional is standing in front of you saying, "This person needs a hospital," and you keep saying no, that's not concern. That's not panic. That's something else entirely. Dr. Gutierrez was getting more alarmed by the minute. She called her supervisor to report what was happening. She firmly believed hospital care was critical for Shanquella's survival, but the friends kept declining. Her supervisor explained that without their consent to transport Shanquella, the doctor's hands were legally tied. At a certain point, if they kept refusing, she'd have to consider leaving. So Dr. Gutierrez did what she could with what she was allowed to do. She attempted to insert an IV for fluids. It took several tries, failed once, failed twice. On the third attempt, she finally got it in. But immediately after that IV was placed, Shanquella had a serious seizure. The IV dislodged. And you know what happened next? The people in that room, the same ones who'd been blocking hospital care, the same ones who'd been making excuses, they panicked and fled. They ran out of the room and left Shanquella seizing on the floor. They abandoned their friend in her moment of greatest need. Dr. Gutierrez had to shout for them to call 911 immediately. She's a medical professional trying to save someone's life, and she's having to yell at these people to do the bare minimum. After some confusion, Winter finally made the emergency call and handed her phone to the doctor. By 4:49 p.m., Dr. Gutierrez checked for a pulse. There wasn't one. She called 911 again to follow up. Within 5 minutes, a Red Cross ambulance arrived at Villa Linda 32. But because Shanquella had no vital signs, the paramedics wouldn't transport her. 3 more ambulances reportedly showed up. All of them declined transport without a pulse. Medical teams worked on Shanquella for over an hour, trying everything they could to bring her back. At 5:57 p.m., Shanquella Robinson was officially pronounced dead. She was 25 years old. Khalil made another call to Salamandra. This time, he delivered the devastating news that her daughter was gone. He added that they'd done everything possible. Everything possible. Let that sit for a minute. They refused hospital care multiple times. They declined free hospitals. They ignored a doctor's urgent warnings. They ran out of the room when she had a seizure. But sure, they did everything possible. He said he was sorry that Shanquella had passed. He said it just like that. He wasn't even emotional, upset, or nothing about it. After law enforcement showed up and started documenting statements, you know what this group did? They packed up their things and asked for transportation to dinner. I'm sorry, what? Your friend just died upstairs. Her body is still there. Police are processing the scene, and y'all are ready to go eat? But they didn't even go to a restaurant. They directed the driver to take them to a hotel near the airport instead. By the following morning, cutting their trip a full day short, all 6 of them had boarded flights back to the United States. They left Shanquella behind in Mexico, left her in a foreign country, returned to the comfort and safety of home like nothing happened. And Dana? She was at the center of all of it. The woman who organized the trip, the woman who attacked Shanquella, the woman who watched her friend deteriorate while blocking medical care. She also coordinated the group's departure from Mexico. Girl, the audacity. Back in Charlotte, Khalil Cook and Dana Jackson showed up at Shanquella's family home. They brought her suitcase, offered their condolences, looked Salamandra in the eye, and played the part of grieving friends. And Salamandra welcomed them because she still trusted these people. Why wouldn't she? They'd been to her home before. They were supposed to be Shanquella's friends. But as days turned into weeks, something wasn't adding up. Each member of the group came by to visit the family, and each one told a slightly different version of what happened in Mexico. Some claimed they found Shanquella unresponsive. Others said she was discovered in bed. One person suggested a maid found her. Another said the friends made the discovery themselves. Hold up, y'all were all there, but nobody can get the story straight? Make it make sense. Salamandra started pressing for details. She contacted the resort directly, desperate to understand what happened to her daughter. After struggling to reach anyone helpful, she finally connected with a manager who shared information that completely contradicted everything the friends had told her. Let that sink in. The first time anyone was truthful with the Robinson family about their daughter's final hours came from a stranger in Mexico. Not from the 6 people who were actually there, not from the ones claiming to be Shanquella's friends. Around the same time, Salamandra received an anonymous call. The caller said there had been a physical altercation involving Shanquella and the others. Then they hung up. I got a call from somebody. I didn't even know who it was, and they said that they was over there fighting that girl. And that's the way they left it, just like that. When Salamandra confronted the group about this information, they denied it. All of them. They cried, said there was never a fight, acted hurt that she would even suggest such a thing. They was crying and said they never had a fight. They even sat here and said they was picking out what they was wearing to the funeral. They sat down here. We was talking about what colors we was going to wear and what we was going to do. They sat in that woman's house, planning funeral outfits, knowing exactly what they did. On November 5th, Salamandra received the official type of home and favorite part. And everything these people had told her for over a week was exposed as a lie. When they called me and the autopsy came back, it all made sense. According to the death certificate, Shanquella died from severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation. That's a dislocated neck, y'all. There was no mention of alcohol poisoning, no cardiac arrest. The approximate time of death was 3 p.m., just 15 minutes after the injuries occurred. They say Shanquella didn't die from no alcohol poisoning. They say she had been beaten. Her neck broke. For more than a week, 6 people had maintained coordinated lies to a grieving family. They participated in deception, kept the truth from the people who loved Shanquella most, and acted like concerned friends the entire time. Once that death certificate became public, you know what happened? Complete silence. No more sympathy visits, no more check-in calls, no more tears about funeral outfits, just silence. If they were genuinely innocent friends who'd simply witnessed a tragic accident, why disappear the moment the truth surfaced? I said what I said. On November 16th, someone from that group decided to release the footage of what happened that day. The video that showed Dana attacking Shanquella. The video where you can hear someone begging Shanquella to fight back. The video where other people are just standing there, watching, recording. The footage sparked the Justice for Shanquella movement. Social media erupted. Thousands of people posted Justice for Shanquella and Say Her Name. Hundreds attended her funeral in solidarity with a family they'd never met. Mexican authorities reopened their investigation. They reviewed the evidence, examined the footage, and issued an arrest warrant for the direct aggressor in the case, widely believed to be Dana Jackson. An arrest warrant based on video evidence for a crime that resulted in someone's death. But despite that video documentation, despite an arrest warrant from Mexico, no arrests ever happened. Let me explain how this works because it's important. That Mexican warrant, it doesn't mean anything on U.S. soil. American law enforcement can't just arrest someone based on another country's warrant. It has to go through a whole process. Extradition requests, legal vetting, probable cause hearings. It's complicated and it takes time. But here's the thing. The United States conducted its own medical examination, and they arrived at different conclusions than Mexican authorities. They determined Shanquella's cause of death as undetermined. Undetermined. There's video of the assault. There's medical documentation of her injuries. There's a death certificate from Mexico stating spinal cord injury and neck dislocation. But somehow, U.S. officials called it undetermined. So what, we just ignoring all that evidence now? Meanwhile, Dana Jackson wasn't sitting around waiting to see what would happen. Oh no. She legally changed her name to Amani Green and moved to another state. She was attempting to vanish, to reinvent herself, to sidestep accountability for what happened. And it worked, because to this day, she's never been arrested. The Robinson family pursued a civil lawsuit, seeking accountability where the criminal system failed them. They're requesting damages not only from Dana, but from all 6 people who were present in that villa. Because even if one person committed the violent act, the others participated in covering it up, spreading lies, blocking medical care, and abandoning their friend when she needed help most. All 6 of them had an opportunity to stop that situation. Neither one of them didn't do nothing about it. Who would give him the right to take a life? He didn't give her no kind of care, no help. I can just feel her suffering, man. The last breath she took out of her body. In her legal responses, Dana has claimed that Shanquella provoked her and that she acted in self-defense. Self-defense. Against someone who wasn't fighting back. Someone who others were literally begging to at least do something. Someone who was naked and vulnerable while you attacked her on camera. Girl, bye. I thank God for the 25 years that she were here with me, you know. But I hate to see my child leave here like that, you know. That was a terrible way for her to die. Shanquella Robinson was supposed to turn 26. She was supposed to keep building her businesses. She was supposed to have more birthdays, more trips, more moments with the family who loved her. Instead, she's gone because 6 people made choices that night. They chose not to intervene during an assault. They chose to block medical care. They chose to lie to her family. They chose to protect themselves instead of their friend. And they're walking around free, while the Robinson family is still fighting for justice years later. What for you does justice look like for Shanquella? For them to go back to Mexico and do their 20, 30, 40 years, whatever they give them, and they need to pay for what they did to her. The case remains active. The Robinson family continues speaking Shanquella's name. They continue demanding accountability from a system that has failed them at every turn. Mexican authorities want to prosecute. They issued a warrant. But the United States hasn't made extradition happen. Dana changed her name and disappeared. The other 5 have stayed quiet. And Shanquella's family is left without answers, without justice, without their daughter. How do you want your daughter to be remembered? As the person that she was loving, loved people, loved traveling. I hurt, but I also know that God don't make no mistakes. My heart going to hurt, and it's going to hurt for a while. But you know, I know God going to give me strength to get through it. These cases matter because they remind us that trust can be weaponized, that jealousy is dangerous, that being a bystander makes you complicit. If you see something, say something. If someone needs help, be the person who steps in. Don't stand there recording. Don't make excuses. Don't protect people who don't deserve protection. Shanquella Robinson's name deserves to be said. Her story deserves to be told. And the people responsible deserve to be held accountable. Period.